I want to just describe Manaiakalani as an innovation in its own right. And what I mean by innovation is that it's something new. It hasn't existed before in New Zealand, and it's also exciting and energising and helping lift the outcomes of the kids at the same time. In terms of the innovation that in my view for Manaiakalani, is that it's got four elements that are quite special and new. What they've done is they've created collaboration between schools, communities, businesses and the University of Auckland. And that's quite spectacular really, because there's many partnerships between those groups, but not a complete whole picture of partnerships in that way that I know of anywhere else in the country, and in fact they're quite rare in the whole world. The reason why I'm calling it innovation is because at the recent OECD conference in France, the big idea for the future is collaboration between schools, communities, universities and businesses, and yet Manaiakalani is already 5-6 years down the track in that development. So what happened was the principal of one of the schools, Point England School, Russell Burt, and his wife Dorothy Burt, who's also a key leader of the school, created a cluster early on between a group of schools in Tamaki, and they drove a community development approach where they brought the communities on board, which were mainly Pacifica and Māori community people, on board with the teachers and the school leaders. And that development was a really powerful change in supply-driven education to communities that are struggling, to those communities becoming involved with the school and helping drive the change. Then they also got hold of the university and got the university involved in researching the developments that they were doing with the students' learning. The Wolf Fisher Research Centre, an outstanding centre with high-class researchers, went in and started checking out whether what they were doing was in fact working for kids. And what they found was high levels of behavioural engagement, and the next lift is to create much more cognitive engagement of the kids. Stunning development to date, but clearly more things to get on with. So part of that innovation is checking for success, and also we haven't finished. We've got more to do. And the last part of the innovation is that they've brought the businesses and I guess funding providers into the game as well. And so Pat Snedden with Russell Burt have created a trust, and they are looking for a partnership around investment between the school itself, the families in the community, the businesses contributing to the schools involved in Manaiakalani, and also government. So in my view, Manaiakalani has really cracked something for the future, in that they've already got the collaboration going between schools, communities, businesses and universities, something that most of the rest of the world has to do in the future. So the success of the Manaiakalani cluster of schools and communities has now been extended out to invite other clusters of schools and communities to join them in this sort of community-based learning environments approach with businesses. And so now a group of probably 5 to 7 other clusters will join Manaiakalani. The jury's out as to whether that will be an innovation or not, because if all that happens is that the other clusters latch on to what Manaiakalani's done and create the same approach as what Manaiakalani's done, that will become a routine that they do, and it will be routine around the world that everybody works together in collaboration with schools, communities, businesses and universities. So that won't be an innovation. The challenge for the Manaiakalani outreach clusters and the Manaiakalani hub cluster is for them to continually adapt this approach so that it continues to grow prosperity, learning for kids, community engagement, business investment and government involvement, and sort of like lateral or flat power sharing. That's not going to happen just by copying off what Manaiakalani hub cluster has done. It's going to happen if all of the people in those other clusters, as well as Manaiakalani cluster, continue to adapt what they're doing. Which means that they have to take the leaf out of the book of Russell, Dorothy, Pat and the rest of the team, that they're constantly looking for the next big idea, the next improvement, and letting go of the stuff that used to work in the past but isn't useful today. And in terms of modern technology, the world is moving really fast. So some of this Manaiakalani Outreach Challenge is about real-time, fast adaptations and going with the flow of what's happening around the world. My view of whether that's possible for that to happen, of course it is. Those people who have joined Manaiakalani Outreach have done through interest. They haven't been asked to do it, and they've got the enthusiasm of the core cluster, so everything looks lined up for a fabulous next decade of innovation in not just Tamaki but across New Zealand. It also provides a model for New Zealand in terms of addressing the significant equity challenge we've got, and it also provides a model globally for other people to look at and say, can we follow that lead? Really, really excited about it.